Well, it was very good. It was a constructive meeting. We established the review into the campaign that will be chaired jointly by Jay Weatherill and Craig Emerson. It'll examine the campaign, the mechanics, and make up some recommendations about how we can do better in the future.
How important is that to your electoral chances in 3 years' time?
Well, it's critical that we examine the campaign while it's still fresh in people's minds, have a look at some of the data, have a look at the campaign strategy that was there, have a look at, of course, one of the issues that media organisations are asking themselves as well as political parties is how was the polling apparently not accurate. So we'll have a look at those issues. People will have the opportunity to make submissions, and I'm very pleased that two people of the stature of Jay Weatherill and Craig Emerson from South Australia and Queensland respectively, but a former Premier and a former Senior Cabinet Minister have made themselves available.
That will be a blueprint, in a sense, for your run to the election, won't it?
Well, of course, you can't have blueprints really for anything that happens in 2022 and 2019. One of the things that we know is that technology changes and circumstances change. And certainly what a campaign looks like in 2019 was different from 2016. The next campaign will be different yet again. But it is important to examine what's happened in the past. You've got to know where you've been to know where you're going.
Noah Carroll's tenure with Labor, what's his status as we speak and going forward?
Well, Noah Carroll's indicated he'll be leaving the position of National Secretary of the Labor Party in the coming period. He has done that so that we have time to deal with those issues. Paul Erickson will be acting National Secretary. Noah's going on leave today for a previously planned holiday, and that's a good thing for him, for everyone. I've encouraged everyone in my front bench team as well to have a holiday in the coming period. They've worked very hard, and Noah Carroll has been a very hard-working National Secretary. He's diligent, he's committed, and I'm sure the next step in his life he'll be successful at whatever he decides to do.
My last question, John Setka, how was that case addressed by the executive today, or wasn't it, and when will it be?
Not at all. It'll be addressed on July the 15th. We'll have a national executive meeting by teleconference, and we'll deal with it then. At that meeting, I'll move the motion that I foreshadowed, that he be expelled from the Labor Party for bringing the party into disrepute.
And tough week?
It was always going to be a difficult week when we come back to Parliament after an election loss. So that was always going to be a difficult week. We were hoping to be coming back into the ministerial wing, but the Australian people had their say and we weren't successful. But one of the things that I think has emerged this week as well is that Labor's disappointed, but we're determined to get it right. I think, frankly, we got our policy positions right this week in terms of the economy, in pointing out the fact that we have the interest rate decrease on Tuesday down to record lows of just 1%, indicate how soft the economy is. Where the first question I asked of the Prime Minister yesterday was asking him which he thought was going the best. Interest rates, consumer demand, wages and productivity, because of course all those key national economic indicators are quite appalling for the government. And the fact that Scott Morrison got sat down by the Speaker in response to the first question he was asked in the 46th Parliament says it all about a government that really doesn't have a big agenda